So I had to vote to see which design I would do today, and only by a couple votes, the welcome design was chosen. So that's the one we'll do today. We will still do the relax. I'll just schedule that for later on. So everybody will still get to see that one. I'm going to start by cutting this hanger off of the back of my sign. Okay. Okay, so for today's project, I'm going to use a 14-inch wire frame from the Dollar Tree. And I have pre-wired it with 12 pipe cleaners around the outside 2 rings and 6 pipe cleaners around the inside 2 rings. You will place 3 in each section. So a section is between the crossbar, so 1 in the middle and 2 on the outside. Okay, you will also need some wire cutters and some 26 gauge wire, a good pair of scissors, and then I'm going to be using my glue gun at the end to attach some seashells to our design. We're using 2 different meshes today. This one is a poly burlap mesh, and this one is, I think this is a fabric mesh. It's like a turquoise blue. It looks lighter on the computer screen to me than it does actually in person. I'm not sure how it appears to you guys, but it is more like a turquoise blue. And I think both of those go well with our sign. We're using 4 different ribbons, and I do have this sign and ribbon as a kit in my shop if anybody's interested in that. We're going to use this beige and blue. I feel like my lighting is very bad. Yeah. Let me see if I can close this blind. And make it a little better. Okay, so it's a beige and blue seahorse, starfish, boat, coral, sand dollar. It's got all different kind of beach themed designs on it. So we're going to use that. And then we're going to use one that is similar, except instead of beige and like an aqua blue, it's aqua blue and dark blue. So we're going to use 9 pieces of each of these ribbons. They're 2.5 inches wide, and I've cut them to 12 inches long. Okay, and then we're going to pair those with, I decided to go with polka dots. I have this beige 1.5 inch polka dot and 2.5 inch blue polka dot. I decided polka dots because they remind me of bubbles like we would see in the ocean. Okay, and we'll lay those to the side. We'll lay our sign to the side, and then okay, yeah, I think that's it because I'm not going to do the poly jute. I don't think. Okay. So to make our design today, I'm going to do cruffles, but I'm going to place them in the frame right side up. So we'll go ahead a couple cruffles here to get us started. Okay, so my mesh pieces, both meshes are 10 inches wide, and I'm cut them to 18 inches long. So I'm just going to roll the first end, fold it over here, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to use a clip or a clothespin or something like that to hold the end. And I'm going to turn that away from me and roll the other end. And then I'm going to leave my curls face up this time. So then I'm just going to scrunch down the middle, small sections at a time, pinch the 2 sides together. And I'm going to place that in my first pipe cleaner. And I'm placing it on the outside one of the outside ones. And I'm putting the finished edge on the inside of the frame and the outside. So finished edges on the inside and the outside. Okay, and then I'm going to work in order today around my pipe cleaners. I'm not going to skip any like I do on some of my designs. So next I'm going to go to this inside beige pipe cleaner. And we're going to do one of the poly burlap mesh pieces. Poly burlap's really soft and very, very easy to work with, and it's beautiful. It's very substantial, so it covers well. Okay, so I rolled that 4 times. Turn it away from me. 4 more times. Oops, move the curls up. Couple crunch down the middle. Pinch the 2 sides together, and then I'm just going to place it in my pipe cleaner with the curled side up. Adjust my cruffles so that they lay over top of each other, and then I'm just going to go to the very next pipe cleaner, the blue, open that up and do the same thing, except now I'm going to do blue and rotate between the colors. Turn that away from me. Scrunch down the middle, curl side up. And then place that in the very next pipe cleaner. I have to look up this blue to remember exactly what type of mesh it was. Both of these did come from Craft Outlet. I just can't remember at the moment what type of mesh this one was. It's not a poly mesh, or it's just a standard mesh. It's a little bit nicer quality, so I'll have to look to remember and let you guys know. Okay, we're going to do one more couple together, this time with the poly burlap mesh. And you can see it's real soft, so it rolls very easily. Roll the other side. Scrunch up the middle. And I'm just twisting my pipe cleaner when I put these in like 1.5 times. So next we need to go to this beige pipe cleaner on the inside ring. So I'll open that. And then I have some couples ready for us here. I'm just going to place them in order all the way, the rest of the way around in all 18 pipe cleaners. Just going back and forth between the blue and the beige. And you could use any kind of mesh, when making this design. If you wanted to make it like mine, you just need to kind of stick with colors that are close to what I'm using. in today's design, I'm going to be putting ribbon in all 18 pipe cleaners, so I'm not going to cut any of those off. Our sign is wide, but it's not very tall, so I'm going to do ribbons in all 18 to make sure we have a good full wreath. If you've seen some of my other videos, hopefully you can see the difference that I most of the time I put my curl space time down, and in this design, the curls are much more pronounced, and you can see them much better in this finished design. So you see more of the curl and less of the ruffle part of the couple. We have just 3 more pieces to go, and then we can start adding ribbon and see what it's going to look like when it all comes together. Okay, just one more. And just like when I put my curls face down, when we put the last piece in, it lays just kind of on top of everything. So we just want to pull the piece that we put in first out and tuck this last piece behind it. Do the same thing on the bottom, lift it up and tuck it under. So that way we have a consistent pattern running all the way around. And so this is what it looks like with our curls up. Nice and fluffy and pretty. Okay, so let's start getting our ribbons together. And I'm going to pair the blue polka dot with the beige and blue beach theme ribbon, and then the beige polka dot with the blue beach themed ribbon. And I'm going on this design all the way around. I'm going to use the X pattern both on the inside and the outside pipe cleaners. So I'm going to make an X in front of me and just scrunch up the middle. Pinch those 2 sides together like that. And then I'm ready to just lay it right down inside of my pipe cleaner. Twist it 3 or 4 times. I'm going to fluff out my tails. Clip off my pipe cleaner. So that's how, when I fluff ribbon tails, I just make them kind of arch up and out in each direction, kind of in like an X pattern. Okay, so we'll go to the next one, and we're going to rotate. So this time we'll do the beige polka dot. This thing 3 or 4 times and snipping that off. Okay, and now we're just going to rotate back and forth till we fill in all 18 pipe cleaners. So remember, the ribbon tails are cut to 18 inches, or I'm so sorry, 12 inches, and you need 9 of each ribbon. So mesh pieces are 18 inches, ribbon pieces are 12 inches. So now we're back to the beige polka dot. I think I mentioned that I have this as a kit in my shop, but I have a bunch of different beach themed kits that I have put together. I'm going to try to do as many of them as I can online, but there's quite a few in there that everyone can choose from. So now we're back to blue polka dot. And I'm just repeating the same process with making the X on the table in front of me and then placing it down in the very next pipe cleaner. Trying to be very careful because sometimes the pipe cleaners get a little bit lost in all of this ruffle mesh and the ribbon. So I'm trying to be careful not to skip any, like I did yesterday. And this is going to end up being really nice and full with all these ribbon tails. So I'm just trying to adjust them as I go and have them overlay and stuff the way that I want them to. Okay. So next we have this pipe cleaner on the inside. I'm going to open that up and get it ready. And I grabbed the wrong ribbon. We needed the blue. Okay. Okay, I wanted to show you guys real quick too. When you do the cruffles face side up, it does make another difference. You can see, or hopefully you can see, how the cruffles are pushing these ribbons up more. So it's making the ribbons actually stand up more. Whereas when you put the cruffles face down, your ribbons tend to lay a little bit flatter. They're not, they don't stand up as much or push up as much, I guess I'm trying to say. Hopefully that makes sense. You can kind of see, especially on these ones up towards the top, how it pushes them up. It's still very beautiful. It's just, I'm just pointing out the differences because that way everybody can decide, see the different ways and the different results and make a decision on which one they like the best or which ones are their favorite. I think we're about halfway around now, so not doing too bad. This beach theme ribbon that I'm working with is a one directional ribbon. So if you like to make sure that on your designs, all of your ribbons face the same direction, that is something you would have to pay attention to if you're using this ribbon because all of the designs on it are going in the same direction. Um, for me, on this particular design, I'm not paying as much attention to that because it's more important to me that my ribbons lay and cover my mesh where I want them to, as opposed to making sure that every starfish or every crab is going. I've mentioned in my previous videos on some ribbons that's more important to me than on others, and this is kind of like a fun and whimsical ribbon to me. So the fun and whimsical design, is okay. It doesn't have to have them all going in the same direction. If you're using a ribbon with words, though, that's one time when it probably is more important to be particular about the direction of your ribbon. At least that's one time when I pay more attention to it, trying to make sure that my words can be read. Okay. Now we're back to the blue polka dot. Page polka dot. This one is going to be nice and full. It's probably going to be more like 6 inches high and 24 inches wide when we get all done. If you guys have any questions or anything, be sure to put them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. Or if I don't know, I will find an answer. You guys can come on through. Yes. I'm live, but you can go on through. It won't hurt anything. That was my handsome grandson getting home from school. Okay, we have this one and 3 more bundles, and we'll be done with our ribbon tails. Would you make some coffee, please, honey?
Honey, I'm home.
Did you hear me? I could really use some. Okay. Nope, we have 3 bundles left. I almost missed one of our pipe cleaners that was hiding back there. I pressed down there on my pipe cleaner to tighten it to the frame a little bit because it seemed like my ribbon was wobbly when I was trying to adjust it. So to fix that, I just pushed down in the middle of the pipe cleaner and pressed it down against the metal frame. I'll get this right eventually. We're doing the blue polka dot with the beige beach theme. And because these ribbons do all overlap each other, that's why I adjust the ribbons as I go. That way I can make sure that I like the way they overlay or change it if I don't. Okay, and our last one. Looks like I had a couple extra pieces of the polka dot. Okay, so this is what it looks like with all of our ribbon tails added and our curls on our cruffles facing upward. And this is the side view. So this right here is probably about 6 inches with this particular mesh type. Now, if you use a thinner mesh, it's gonna be a little thinner. It might be between 4 and 5 inches, depending on what type of mesh you're using. Okay, and to attach our sign, I was looking here. I think instead of punching a hole in this where these letters are cut out, I think I'm going to go through, like, for example, right here's a hole. We could always go around the E right here and attach it, and around the E down here. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my wire and go around these 2 E's as opposed to putting holes in the sign. So I'm still going to use my 26 gauge wire to do that. I'm going to cut them really long to make it easy on my hands. I had seashells here earlier, but now I've misplaced them. I was going to add some extra seashells on my sign. Okay, so then I'm just folding the wire, the really long piece, in half to give me the 2 pieces I need. Okay. Actually, I think I'm going to go around this E up here, and then down here, there's this little hole between the stern and the M. I'm going to go through that hole instead of around the E. Okay, so I'm just going to take my wire and feed it through the E. I'm going to bring it here to the top. So I'm bringing the wire right through the crevice here. And then I'm just going to line up in the back, and I'm going to twist a knot in the back of the sign. Okay. And then I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to go through that hole. And then just come up the bottom underneath the stern. This is 26 gauge wire, so it's pretty thin. It won't be, it will be noticeable if you look closely, but it's not very noticeable. You would have to be really paying, like, inspecting it closely to notice it. I twisted that knot in the back also so that my wires are coming out of the back of my sign. And then I'm going to place this and do my best to get it in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to start off feeding down through the mesh. I'm going to wrap around because this wire is more inward on the sign. It's not on the very end. So I'm going to go around those two inside wires on the wreath frame. And I'm just going to twist it a couple times and then come over here and make sure I have everything straight and lined up before I secure it down all the way. Okay. That looks pretty even. Top and bottom, side to side. I'm just trying to make sure I got it even. I wonder if I need to go up just a hair. Yeah, I think that's closer. So now I'm going between the two of the pieces of mesh and feeding it down through, again wrapping it on the inside two wires because we're in about 3 or 4 inches from the edge of the sign. I'm pretty happy that that's centered, so I'm going to go ahead and tighten this side down. I'm going to twist the wires around each other a bunch of times until I get to the end of the shorter piece of the wire. Then I'm going to clip off the extra. And then I always wrap the wire around one of the rings on the frame and push the sharp up to the edge to the inside. Okay, and then I got some ribbons that I mashed down here, so I'm just going to make a couple adjustments, pull those out so they're not squashed. Same thing down here at the bottom. Okay. That also lays a couple of your tails over the end of your sign or around your sign here, which kind of makes your sign look more like it's part of the wreath instead of just sitting on top of it. So now the last thing I need to do is come back over here and I need to tighten this down. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the ribbon tails and we will be all done. Since I can't find the seashells I was going to glue on top of the sign, I was going to take a few seashells that I picked up at the beach and just place them in a couple random spots on the sign just to add a little extra. It's got the stern and a couple little fish, but I thought a couple seashells would be nice added to it also. Make it a little more three-dimensional. Okay, I'm just wrapping the wire around itself. And now I'm going to wrap the wire around the ring and push it inside. It keeps the back of the design looking nice and make sure that nobody gets poked with any sharp wires. Okay, and then here is what our design looks like with our welcome sign. You guys be sure to let me know what you think of it. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. If anybody watches on replay, please put #replay and let me know. I sure appreciate each one of you. And I will see you again tomorrow.